Hey guys, welcome to another video on Brand Device where we talk about business and finance. My name is Bharat and this was another sunny morning, but somehow the clouds came. So I decided to go out and make another video for you guys, and this time about Airbnb. So how much did we earn from our property in 2020, especially in such bad times, and also what kind of things you should take care of if you're thinking about starting a business like that, because there were a lot of hidden things that we had no idea about previously, but we learned when we actually started the Airbnb. Let me give you some background. So back in September 2019, we were looking at different kind of houses because we wanted to go away from the city life. Our idea was that, okay, we got married on this island on Ero, which is the southernmost island in Denmark. I think from Flensburg, it's just 30 minutes drive or something. It's super close to Germany. So we were thinking a lot of people who are in the major German cities, they do not have such free access to islands or free nature and things like that, and many of these people actually like to go to other countries, and many Germans, for example, come to Danish islands, different kind of Danish islands, to spend their holidays there. So we're like, all right, we are going to buy this house, we are going to try to do Airbnb first thing, and we are going to try to run my business. So my business was making around 20,000 euros per year at that time. So we had the idea that 20,000 euros we can make from Airbnb, 20,000 euros we can make from my business, and with 40,000 euros per year, we can live a simple life. So that was our idea when we bought the house back on 16th November 2019. And of course, we took over the house, we started the repairs and everything because we were hopeful that till May 2020 or something, we will be able to rent out the house. So that was our plan. But we had no idea that there will be some pandemic or something coming and everything will go to ruins. And this was a very, very difficult time for us, I tell you, honestly, because we bought this house and my income wasn't enough to just survive us alone on this island, because my marketing consulting business did not kick in till 2020, because last year was the main year when my marketing consulting business kicked in. I was able to hire one employee, then afterwards a second, and now a third. But at that time, all of that was non-existent, and it was a very, very scary time for us, because our idea was that we bought this old house, so many repairs to be done, but if we are not able to rent out any part of the house, how are we going to make the money to actually invest back in the house? So it was absolutely not nice, and then the lockdowns and everything happened, and it was in general just a very bad situation. And that's why I tell you over and over again that when I see somebody whose business is being closed down right now because he's having a restaurant or something where people are actually supposed to come, and they are running anything in the hospitality or the tourism business, I understand their pain, because we were on the verge of just getting everything done. I don't know what we would have done, to be honest, because this house here, this business here would be new, so we wouldn't get any grant from the Danish government, and we would also not get any support from the German government, because again, the house is here. And again, that would have been a huge problem, because the German state is they're the first ones to ask you for taxes, but when it comes to support, then I showed you in the previous video how they're just covering the fixed costs, and what is the fixed cost when you actually also need some profit to live. So of course, this island is really beautiful in summers. It's just absolutely just insane, the kind of colors you see in the morning. You can stay here till the evening. Sun sets at around 11:30 or something, which is also super nice. In general, summers is a very, very beautiful time on the island, and I also made a lot of drone shots and drone recordings and made small promotional clips about the house and things like that. All of that you can check out on youtube.com/aerodiaries. That is a separate channel I made for promoting this house and maybe any other properties that we are going to buy here. And also in winters, when it snows, it's just absolutely beautiful, but if it's raining, then of course it's not so nice. Now a quick introduction about the house. This house has 14 rooms, 2 rooms we built new in this house, and the property of this house is around 2,400 square meters. The living space inside is 200 square meters, and we can still extend it to I think another 80 square meters, because this entire thing that you see up, that is not built, but the red side, that is completely built nicely, so that is not a problem. And in that red side we built 2 new spaces. One is a new kitchen and one is a gym. So the nice thing about this house is there's a partition, so you see this entire white side. This is the side that we rent out to the guests, and then we stay in the red side, so that there's no kind of overlap whatsoever. There are also separate entrances. Guests have their complete privacy. Also, whenever guests need something, we're just there and we can help them out real quick, because most of the times in Airbnb, the 2 most important times you should be there and to welcome the guests is generally when you're helping them check in and explaining them what runs where and things like that, and then when they're checking out sometimes, in case they have some kind of questions whatsoever. So you have to be there. So it's not exactly passive income. that's what you have to first remember about Airbnb. You have to be actively there, or you can do a second thing, which is you can hire a property manager who takes care of you. One very important thing you have to remember in life is the moment you start outsourcing your important things to somebody else, that is the exact moment when like things start going downhill. You cannot rely on anybody else other than yourself, and just like speak over it in your mind over and over again. That has been my life motto, and I think you should really follow the same. Now, about the cost of the house, what are the running costs? So we have around like 300 euros per month, which is going in property tax and electricity. And then we also do not have any kind of water cost because we have our own well here. So the only cost that we have there is for drainage, which is a lot cheaper than actually like, getting a connection from a waterwork here. Water on this island is one of the most expensive in Europe. So like, we are absolutely happy that we have our own well and we don't have to do that. Another thing that you have to remember about Airbnb business is anything that you think can break will break, because we have seen some guests come in and like break all of the Heizung, these radiator knobs, which was like crazy for us. Like, why would you do that? Like, you can just like ask us like if you don't know how to use it. Then we had like guests who like made the water tap in the bathroom wash basin like completely loose. So that was like screwed up, and like we had to like get that repaired. So you have all of these like costs that you have to like really think about. And even though like it was, for us, it was the first time that we are doing Airbnb, we are putting everything new, we are putting so much money inside, thinking that of course once we get good ratings, more people are going to come in and stuff. So the total cost of owning this house can come around, let's say, 4,000 euros per year. When I talk about the earnings, so in such bad times, so like from July till December 2020, because July was the time when we actually like listed our house on Airbnb and the guests started coming in. So from that time till the end of the year, we made around 6,980 euros. I don't think it's fair to like consider even like November and December, because around 1st November or something, the borders got closed again. So it is essentially the money that we could make in just around 4 months, and that too in times when like tourism and everything was highly discouraged by the government. So of course, if you take a look at these kind of numbers, it is not bad at all. And I'm going to put how many like nights of bookings we had here and what was the average price also here. So the way we priced our house was the minimum base price for the house is 119 euros, plus I think you have like 50 euros of cleaning fee and stuff, and then afterwards any other guest which comes, you have 30 euros extra. And because this island is very touristy, a lot of people come here generally. But again, because of the these pandemic times, there were lesser people. Yeah, like, the business suffered in that sense. But our general prognosis for like renting out this house throughout the year is around like, 25,000 euros. Because in summers, the prices of all of the Airbnb rentals, they go high like crazy. Like we have had a house here which is charging like around 500 euros per night. And then like of course you have like 100 euros extra for every single person who like comes to. So like you have prices like that on this island. And when we bought this house, of course the house was in a very bad condition because it was an old house. Like one part, like this side of the house where you see the roof is high, it has been built in 1786 and then it has been renovated and stuff like that. The roof has been built new and there is a lot of stuff which is happening. Now we are going to invest a lot of money inside in like changing this facade. You see this like woodwork here, the black lines, all of that will be of brick and stuff like that. So like we had to invest a lot of money inside, and we were aware like what we were getting inside in the starting, because our main plan was that at least like we have some place where we can start our business, even though it was a huge leap of faith for us. Like we just like are leaving our job, are leaving our rented apartment whatsoever in Hamburg, and we are like coming here to like set up the business and like making the repairs and everything. It took a lot of courage, it took a lot of effort, but like in the end we were like very sure that like this is going to pan out. But unfortunately this pandemic happened, and yeah, like that's what I say over and over again, that like this is the reason I understand like what kind of situation other restaurant people or like hospitality business is going through. But needless to say, the price that we got for this house was very affordable. And then like with the repairs and stuff, like when we are done with all of the repairs or like most of the repairs, we will have a net yield of around 18 to 25% per year from this house, which is really not bad for an investment. And in such a beautiful place, a house, a land which is yours and which is going to stay yours, and it is going to like generate such high returns. So this is the main difference that you have generally when you're doing Airbnb versus when you're just renting out a space normally. How much money you earn, like the difference is crazy. If we would rent this house normally on this island, like I think we would like maximum earn around 500 euros per month or something. For such a big property, 2,400 square meters, 14 rooms and 200 square meters of living area, and that would amount to around 6,000 euros per year. But if you do the same thing for Airbnb, like the amount goes anywhere from like 20,000 to 25,000 euros or even more sometimes, because when we have larger groups, then of course we get paid a lot more than we have smaller groups. And this is also the reason why we do not regret owning this house. I think this was a huge step on our part, especially thinking that my business would be just making 20,000 euros a year, and like we would be relying on this house for the rest of our livelihood, which we do not have to do right now. And that's why like we can move to different kind of places. Going into this, I tell you, like it was a very scary thing to do, and we were thinking that I don't know how we are going to survive for the next few months if like this entire lockdown thing just like keeps on going and going and going. And even like right now the business is suffering like crazy. Like this house is my wife Alina's like main business. She does marriage planning and she does Airbnb. In marriage planning, essentially, like anytime you're from two different nations, and even if you're from the same nation, so for example in Germany, like getting married takes sometimes up to like 6 months or something. But in Denmark, the nice thing is you file the application. Like you need somebody who files your application in Denmark, who has a business ID and everything. And then afterwards, once you file the application, you get the approval just in 5 days. And once you get the approval in 5 days, you just get an appointment here at the local Kommune, Aero Kommune, and then afterwards everything is done. So the fastest that we have seen is like somebody getting married on Aero in like just like 8 days or something, whereas when you compare it to Germany, it takes up to 6 months, if not longer. So in case any of you guys are thinking about like getting married or something, definitely take a look at my wife's website, which is aerodiaries.com. You can read more details there. And also like next year when you plan your vacations and you feel like we want to like go to an island and stuff, we would love to host you on our Airbnb. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. You have no idea how much it means to me, because times are difficult and you taking out the time to actually watch these videos are very helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.